I love what America stands for. And what America stands for is kind of a nation that's where people go to. You know, this is one of the more insidious problems with this idea of building walls and keeping people out and making it incredibly difficult to get here. The reason why I'm here is because it was pretty easy to get here.
Yeah.
That's why I'm here.
That's the essence of America, a free and open society.
Come here and do better.
Yeah.
That's the whole idea behind it. And I would hope that this idea of being able to just, if you want to do better, you can anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
This could eventually spread out.
Yeah.
This is my hope.
I believe it can spread out. And you know, I see many signs of hope in America. America has become a big part of my life, not just because I wrote this book, but because I have children who are now living in America. I have a son and daughter-in-law who live in LA. I have another son and daughter-in-law who live in Boston. America, I'm British, but America has become a very central part of my life, and it's a fascinating and amazing country, and it's been my privilege to travel thousands of miles across America, across many, many, many different states, and I love this country. It's an amazing place. Only in America could we see happening what has happened with cannabis. You know, the fact that at a local level, individuals have got together, mobilized petitions, organized votes, and changed the law. Literally stuck a finger up at central government and said, fuck off. This is none of your business. What I do with my consciousness in the inner sanctum of my own life is not the business of the state. That's a very American feeling. It's something that you don't find often in other countries where the state is granted much more power and much more authority than it perhaps should be. Americans are naturally questioning of government authority. And that is what has led to the increasing legalization of cannabis, which is going to change the world in lots of ways. But then ironically, at the same time, see, the thing about democracies is that in order to get things done in a democracy, you need to persuade people of your point of view. So information becomes very important in democracies. And information can be abused. People can be misled with information. They can be told that what they're receiving is the truth, whereas in fact it's not the truth. And you can end up with a kind of dictatorship that the people have given their assent to on the basis of false information. And frankly, I'd rather have a real dictatorship, which is out in the open and clear, rather than one that has been subtly manipulated into position through manipulating the views of the voters. But I am and remain enormously encouraged by America. It may seem like a trivial issue, but the fact that state by state cannabis is being legalized, and that is resulting from a grassroots movement, that this enormous change has been made. It's ironic, it's strange that at the federal level, even though, 8 states now totally legal for recreational, 24 states legal for medical use, that at the federal level it's still a Schedule I controlled drug. This is a huge state of dissonance that exists, and America's going to have to put it right. What it says to me is that people can change things. People can get together at the local level, and they can make a better world. Because there's no doubt that the cannabis laws were vicious and wrong and cruel and evil and ruined people's lives for decades. And it's people who've changed that. It's not government who's changed that. It's the people at the grassroots level. America's a country where that can happen. And I remain encouraged about the role of the American people, while often in despair about the role of the American state.
Yeah, I'm encouraged as well. And, you know, it's interesting. Ben and Jerry released something yesterday, which is really, or on 420, I should say, which was talking about the drug laws in this country and talking about how many, it's really opening this, the idea of like how unjust these laws were and how many of these laws targeted people of color and how many people who are white people have profited off of this and how many people are still in jail.
Yes.
For crimes that they committed, you know, air quote crimes that are no longer crimes.
That are no longer crimes.
Yeah, and this is ridiculous. And these records should be expunged.
They should be completely expunged. I see that California has made some steps in that direction.
Yes.
There has been some expunging of records.
Well, we can only hope that also what opens up next is psilocybin is now going to be on the ballot.
Absolutely.
And when that opens up, I mean, what you really think marijuana is a gateway drug? Well, guess what? It is if psilocybin gets in.
Yes.
Because psilocybin can legitimately change the world.
It certainly can.
It really, I mean, I think marijuana can change the world, and I really do think that cannabis is changing people's perceptions and making people more calm and friendly. And even what they talk about with paranoia, I welcome that. And the reason why I welcome that is I think people are entirely too cocky.
Yeah.
The life we live is bizarre as you could ever imagine in a book, and we're just accustomed to it because it's our day-to-day existence.
Take it all for granted. Yeah.
Marijuana removes those blinders.
It does.
And it really makes you understand that this is a strange, strange life. And a lot of these pitfalls and problems that we have in our society are due to fear, and they're due to ignorance, and they're due to this lack of connection with each other. And cannabis and many of these other psychedelic drugs, they encourage this connection with each other, which is, I think, what we need.
It's certainly what we need. And it's an aberration in human culture that we've created a society that demonized these substances and that made them illegal. It's a relatively recent thing. It's really just the last 100 years. It's a tiny part of the human story. And yet we're so arrogant as a society that we could set aside thousands of years of human tradition and experience and wisdom working with the plant medicines. We just set it aside, turn them into criminal substances, and say we know everything. What a huge and stupid mistake that is. On cannabis as a quote-unquote gateway drug, it absolutely is in this sense that the legalization of cannabis is going to open the doors to, as you say, to the legalization of psychedelics, because what's happening is that the population is completely waking up to the fact that they have been bullshitted and lied to about cannabis for the best part of a century. And once that dawns on people, the realization at a direct personal level, here's this herb I love. I have been lied to, systematically misinformed by central government about this herb. That leads to questioning of everything that central government does. And so in that sense, it is a gateway to a questioning society. The psychedelics are different in that psilocybin actually does lead you to question stuff.
Yes.
It leads you to really ask questions about everything, about your role in the world, about you as a person, about how you relate to other people, and about the whole system on this planet and the beautiful, gorgeous planet that we have and what we're doing to it. That also enters awareness. So